Hello, everybody. I hope you've been having a good Sunday. As I kind of sort of maybe promised, here we go. We have the finalists for the 2026, or no, this would be 2025. I guess this would be 2025. Okay, well, we're here to partially fix this. So the 2025 RG Awards for 2026. I don't know. It's okay. It's screwed in the first couple minutes, but we will be taking a look at the finalists. This year, some categories there was a lot of nominees, and some categories there was like almost no nominees. So we'll see how it goes. I think we have a decent field. It Some of these were relatively easy to cut down. Some of these took a little more difficult to cut down. So we will get to a minute. Let me just share this on different social media platforms. And I'll just give it a minute for people to show up. Let's see. Okay, let me just take a look at the chat. And we'll just give it a minute for people to show up. Let me know if just my voice is okay. If you can hear me all right, if it needs to be louder, if there's too much background noise, whatever it is. So I'll give it another minute or two. Like I said, hope everybody's having a good weekend. We're all back to work tomorrow. I am not looking forward to that. Rain, are you looking forward to me going back to work tomorrow? She's a cat. She doesn't understand. But yeah. So it's about 2 months exactly until I head over to Europe. So I'm hyped. Like I said, I'm going to be going to Belgium and Holland, all over the place there. So that's going to be a lot of fun, I think. So let's see. Okay, then. So we'll get started, and as we get started, we'll just go through everything. Okay, so I bring you the 2025 RG Awards, or Argent Awards. This was something I came up with a while back. There's kind of a couple things that led to the genesis of the RG Awards. Firstly, my friend Abstract and I were trying to do the Third World Awards back when we were in university. Like, we were just going to do, like, most inexcusably third world country, or, like, just most third world leader, or just stuff like that. And just to make it, like, really satirical and dark and cynical. And then did PPP did this show with Godwinson called The Golden Guns, wherein they gave out awards for internet drama and stuff like that. And I really liked the idea, and I'm like, you know what? Why don't I do my own award show? Because I think it's a good way to kind of wrap up a lot of the crazy stuff that happened in the previous year that a lot of us have forgotten, and just to kind of have a couple laughs about it, because in this world, if you can't really get through life in one piece unless you have a very dark sense of humor. So we're going to go through these. So I have picked out I think all of the winners at this point. I just like your guys' feedback. Is there something I missed? Which one do you think should win? Just for some viewer feedback or viewer interaction, as Phil would put it. Okay, so the first award is Cringe of the Year. Always a very competitive one. So, the finalists for Cringe of the Year are the Friends-inspired Macron Mertz Starmer Tusk trip to Ukraine, Me Mom Died in the Holy by Danny Finkelstein, renaming the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, Trump and Zelensky's Oval Office meeting, and Liberation Day. So, those are the finalists. I'll just give people a minute if anyone wants to say which one they think should win Cringe of the Year. This one was fairly competitive. I think any of these could deserve it. There was a lot of honorable mentions too. Let me just see. I didn't include honorable mentions in this because I like to preserve that as kind of side content. I have like the big beautiful bill. I have the person taking Piers Morgan's book "Woke is Dead" to the South Pole. This one is really cringe, but it's kind of irrelevant. Larry Johnson calling Mitternack the Lavrov of the 19th century. So, okay. People are saying me mom died in the holy. Okay, some people, okay. People might be disappointed with which won this one. So that's that. Okay, next category. Most cinematic. So this is for the most cinematic moment or thing in 2025. What made us most feel like we were watching a motion picture. The nominees for most cinematic moment of 2025 are Danny Finkelstein showing up in the middle of the Nick Fuentes interview out of nowhere and talking about Me Mom. The reboot of the Coalition of the Willing. I just think that. Trump's bombing of Iran with the giant bombs and the B-2s at the end of the 12-day war. The Charlie Kirk assassination. Or Trump and Vance versus Zelensky with such lines as, "I'm not playing cards," and "Have you said thank you even once?" So, once again, this one is pretty competitive. It's always amazing how many awards nominate. Part of the reason why it sometimes takes me a while to get this together is a lot of stuff happens at the end of the year. And as you can tell, I try to spread it out over the course of the year. It's just a lot of stuff happens in December. I don't know, the Fuentes stuff happened, that was in December, but I don't know. So those are the nominations for the most cinematic moment. Okay, the next one is going to be some cringe. Okay, the nominees for the worst take of 2025 are Russia no longer builds schools, hospitals, or has social policy, not a single one, by Emmanuel Macron. Banning ninja swords from Keir Starmer. Trump saying Rob Reiner died from Trump derangement syndrome. Trump saying Epstein is a Democratic Party hoax. And a journalist from Al Jazeera explaining why mass deportations are bad. Mexico can't cope with an influx of millions of people. No country can. Now, somebody said that's Argent. That's actually a reasonable thing, but the point is that it was being used as a it was being used as a what's it called? A excuse for why, a reason why they can't deport people, because Mexico couldn't deal with it. I don't know. If people think that the banning ninja swords doesn't belong here, I can move that. Banning ninja swords got nominated elsewhere, but I don't know. I think it's a pretty good set of ones. Okay, So I think people are guessing in the chat what it's going to be. I don't really like some of these are pretty strong, but the one in question is just so like obvious and insane that you're probably going to guess which one's going to win. You know what? I'll give you one for free for this one. It's Epstein is a Democratic Party hoax. There we go. That's the free one. I don't think that's a surprise to anyone. That was one of the I don't even understand it. Like I don't even get like why the Democrats would make up Epstein. Like, did they just make it up recently? Was it from like I don't know. I'll when we do the thing, I'll try to go through it, but nothing about it makes any kind of sense. So that wins worst take of 2025. Okay, so we had so many bad takes. By the way, should I remove banning ninja swords as a take? I'm not sure if it qualifies. It was just something really stupid. So I could do, you know what? Here, I'll do this one. I'll put this one in. I have to look up where this is from, though. Because ninja swords get in later. Okay. I have to look up who did this one. But I'll put that in. I just have to look it up. Okay. So. Okay. The new one I'm slotting in is Kanye is the realest guy on earth for confessing to fucking his cousin. Okay. All right, so there were so many bad takes we had to split the category. I could also do Kanye asking Trump to pardon P. Diddy, but we'll move on. So so I had to split worst take into two categories. The second one is most delusional take, which just I don't know. There's just a couple that I couldn't find somewhere else to put in, so I decided to put them in here. Okay, so the nominees, and I might need one more for this one. The nominees for most delusional take are Christmas is a far right Christmas being a Christian holiday is far right propaganda. Trump pretending he called Modi. Trump saying that Ukraine is going to conquer parts of Russia. And Trump saying he stopped 12 wars. Trump is getting a lot of nominations this year. So those are the nominations for most delusional take. I might need to put one more in there. Let me see. Let me just look at my list. I have okay, so here's some other ones I have. I have not inviting Russia to Auschwitz liberation commemoration. I have the files are on my desk. You know what? I'm gonna add in the files are on my desk. I think that's a good one. Oh no. Okay. We're gonna add in the files are on my desk. Does that count as a delusional take? I don't know. I think it counts as a delusional take. But I have there's no starvation in Gaza, but that was not a delusional take. That was just Netanyahu being Netanyahu. Okay. All right. So, once again, I had so many nominees for the for worst take. I had to make a third category, which is biggest cope. Oh wait, no, okay. Actually, I need to swap this out then. Okay, so the nominees for biggest cope of 2025 are Russia won Kursk because of the 25,000 North Koreans. Ukraine is not losing. The front line is moving in the moving in the wrong direction. Which Mark Ruda. The 20th EU sanctions package, and Ukraine can fight without America, but it will be hard. Now, to be fair, the Mark Ruda one is a little more nuanced, but you know what? I'll keep the files on my desk as delusional as a cope, and I'll do that as most delusional take. Rain is currently being a detractor kitty because I'm trying to. She's standing on my hand when I'm trying to do this, but I don't know. Okay, let's see. What are people saying in the chat? So yeah, so the Mark Ruda thing is a little more complicated than that. If you look at the actual quote, he said he was asked if Ukraine was losing, and he said the things are moving in the wrong direction, but Russia is taking immense casualties, so Ukraine isn't losing. So it's a little more complicated than that. Okay, I had like no nominees for best take. Maybe if someone has something else, I'd appreciate it, but I just struggled. So I didn't even get to 5, and 2 of them are me, and one of them isn't even really a take. I might have to just cut this category. So the nominees for best take are Organizational Omerta, from me. So that is, Omerta is the code of silence in the mafia. That you just never talk about it, you never explain anything. It's just 100% secret. So operational omerta is how, like within organizations, just nothing will be clearly explained. No one wants to keep paper records of anything. Stuff like that. Maple Macron from me. That was the nickname I gave to Mark Carney, because he is indistinguishable from Macron and Mertz and all these other like product creatures of the international finance system. The fact that they actually cast actors who resembled the Zelda characters, which I was shocked by, that neither of them was like black or tattooed up or fat, or like they actually looked like Link and Zelda. And then Yahoo admitting on Twitter that Epstein was part of the Israeli deep state. So what had happened is, on Netanyahu's official Twitter account, he posted posted a link to I forget if it was Jacobin or something like that, some like left-wing publication, and the left-wing publication explained how Epstein was part of the Israeli deep state. So you have the Prime Minister of Israel just admitting it, like just coming out and saying yes. So I don't know. If people have any other suggestions for that, I would appreciate it, but I'm not really... I didn't have too many. A lot of the, so the problem is a lot of the, good takes were stuff that the Trump admin said and then never referenced again, so it's kind of hard for me to give, So, okay. All right. Next award, Biggest Snake. The nominees for the Biggest Snake of 2025 are Donald Trump for announcing the Budapest summit and then suddenly canceling it. Mike Waltz for, well, allegedly, but we all know, being a deep cover agent for Israel and trying to get Trump involved in a war while passing intelligence to Netanyahu. Merz for getting Europe to sanction Germany. For those of you who aren't aware, Merz got the EU to put permanent sanctions on Germany to prevent Nord Stream from ever being restarted, so that even if his government gets overthrown or his party removes him, they'll never be able to get the whole thing redone, started again. Okay, Trump and Israel for repeatedly using negotiations to lure opponents into a false sense of security and then attacking them under the offer of truce, and the EU on Belgium over the whole Euroclear Russian frozen assets. All right. Next up, we have the Israeli Optics Award. So, this is an award that we've started awarding since the Hamas attack in 2023. And this is for the most optical thing that Israel has done in the previous year. Okay, so the nominations for the Israeli Optics Award are attacking Iran during active peace negotiations with the United States, attacking Qatar despite it being a U.S. ally, using Mike Waltz as a sleeper agent to try to get America to go to war with Iran, the IDF setting up kill zones for Palestinians coming to get aid, and then gunning them down with tanks and artillery, Netanyahu saying there is no starvation in Gaza, and ADL CEO Jonathan Greenblatt complaining about intermarriage rates between Jews and non-Jews. So it's a competitive field for Israel this year. There's a lot of stuff. So this one was hard. People might disagree. I mean, because this one, there's like the geopolitical answer, and then there's like the basic human answer. So, I don't know. Okay. All right. Next one, we have a fan favorite, the Third World Award. This is awarded for the most third world thing to happen in normally a developed country. I mean, it can be in a third world country, like Haiti having the coup by the cannibal gangs and then barbecue taking power was pretty high, like that one last year. But it's better if it's something third world that happens in a developed country. All right. And the nominees for the Third World Award are Romania canceling elections over TikTok videos, New Jersey removing the basic literacy test requirement for new teacher certification, which is like, I did a stream on and it was like grade 6, basically. Birmingham's biblical rat plague. Who's that? Plague. Irina Zaruska's murder on the girl on the train. And the Louvre art theft. So those are the nominees for the third world thing of the year. This one was really hard because, like, how do you choose between this? This, like, we have removing basic literacy. Apparently in Canada, they're trying to do that for lawyers because we have too many Indians who can't speak English. So they're trying to remove literacy requirements to become a lawyer in Canada or something like that. We have a non-functional justice system. We have a literal rat plague. That apparently there's rats like the size of rain. The Louvre theft was just a shit show. I don't know. This one was really hard. So, we'll see. We'll see what people have to say. Okay. Next one. Biggest collective L. So we used to just have biggest L and biggest W, but there was... Wait, did I screw this one up? Yeah, I screwed this one up. One sec. Okay, there we go. This one I actually... Maybe I did this one... Oh, no, this was honorable mention. Sorry, I forgot to take this one out. Okay. I was thinking that was wrong, but that was the honorable mentions page. I just screwed it up. Okay. So, the biggest collective L of 2025. The nominees are the terms of Ukraine's mineral rights deal, America's Liberation Day tariffs, every party in the German election, Israel for every campaign except for Syria, and Disney's Snow White reboot collapsing before it was even released. So, yeah, that is the those are the nominees for the biggest collective L. L's being awarded to a country in general or to a people in general. Like I said, collectively. This one was a bit difficult, but Joker 2 previously won, which made it hard to do that again, but we'll see. Yeah, somehow every party failed in the German election. It was kind of weird that way. Okay. So, next category, we have the biggest individual L. So this is the biggest L by a single person. So the rules of this are, I love you too, Trillium. But sometimes I will inject internet drama into this for like a joke, but it can't win. It can't win. It's just funny to put it in. So, biggest individual L. DSP's failed redemption arc. Pierre Poilievre losing an easy election. Zelensky's White House press conference. Merz losing the chancellorship vote on the first round. And Elon Musk getting ejected from the Trump administration. Maybe I need to replace Zelensky's White House press. I don't know. I never know if like things should, how many individual ones people should be allowed to get, like for a specific event. Like if something's is a big enough disaster, if it should just get like a whole bunch of nominations. So, okay, so biggest individual L. I kind of like to replace the Zelensky White House press conference, but I'll have to think about that one a bit. Okay, next one, biggest collective W. So the biggest collective W's of 2025 are English being declared America's official language, Argentina's economic miracle under Milei, Rwanda's string of victories in the DRC, the Jan 6 protesters being pardoned, and Iran's victory, in my opinion, in the 12-day war. I gotta admit, I found this one like extremely difficult. That's why we have this in here, which I had last year, but I don't know. I just had trouble. Just because a lot of the stuff that would have been a W for America was not. So, um, yeah. I know that Armenia, sorry, not Armenia. I know Argentina got a bailout, but if you look at the actual like what's going on in Argentina, like inflation and stuff has actually come down a lot. Um, okay. All right. So biggest individual W. So this is for people who uh, had the biggest wins on a personal level. Okay. So the nominations for the biggest personal W of 2025 are as follows: Mark Carney for being a karma Houdini that is succeeding Justo, a man so bad we have an award named after him, and then somehow winning. Nick Fuentes is getting a W nomination for the first time for his repeated interview wins and the generational run. RFK Jr. and Tulsi Gabbard getting cabinet posts. Nigel Farage surging in the polls despite his incompetence. And Starmer for surviving the year despite being the most unpopular UK PM of all time. So those are the nominations um, for biggest individual W of the year. It's a tricky one. You know what? We'll give you a little. I'll give you a little sneak peek. I'll throw you in something else from the what we're gonna. Grok's been helping me a bit, throwing in a couple more uh, images. So yeah, like they did the. I actually think that looks pretty funny. The Justin Trudeau Lifetime Achievement Award, which is for people who may not win an Argie, but embody the spirit of what the Argies are. So this was the category for people who deserved one, but who might not win one. So they wind up getting it. So the previous recipients of the Justin Trudeau Lifetime Achievement Award are Tony Blinken, Bashar al-Assad, Kamala Harris, Justin Justo Trudeau, Pope Francis, Emmanuel Macron, Joe Biden, Olaf Scholz, and Passignon. And this year we are adding in Lindsey Graham, Vladimir Zelensky, Kanye West, Donald Trump, and Piers Morgan have all also are going to receive the Justin Trudeau Lifetime Achievement Award. Okay, next one. Gamer of the Year. Very prestigious category. I only had one nominee for Chat of the Year, so they won. I couldn't really come up with any other ones. So there was one nominee for Chat of the Year and they won. So I couldn't come up with anything better. Okay, so the nominees for Gamer of the Year are Donald Trump, DeCarlos Brown Jr., who's the guy who killed what's her name on the bus, the Ukrainian refugee girl on the bus, the Doge staffer Big Balls, Abu Mohammed Al Jalani, Bashar al-Assad, Johnny Somali, Ben Shapiro, Timur Mindich, and the Andrew, formerly known as Prince Andrew. These are the nominees for Gamer of the Year. who most who most embodies what it is to be a gamer in the year 2025. So, it's a good category. I always, if there's like a serial killer or like a domestic terrorist or someone, they always get put on here. This is not a like a good award. This is the negative counterpart to Chat of the Year. I just didn't have anything for Chat of the Year this year. And the person who won Chat of the Year wasn't even yeah. So, okay. All right. Next category we have the We Live in a Society Award. Now, this award was split into the We Live in the Anglo Society and okay, did I screw this one up? Yeah, I screwed this one up. We live in a society. There was too many ones from Anglo countries, so I had to split them up and have a category for just Anglo countries to try to offload some of them. But it didn't help, and most of the We Live in a Society awards in the normal category are still from Anglo countries. Britain and Canada just dominate this category. Okay, so We Live in Our Society Award. The nominations are the Sciences Museum in London, referring to Lego blocks as anti-LGBT and warning that they reinforce heteronormativity. Body Blue, fucking 1,000 dudes in 12 hours. The entire left-wing media being funded by U.S. aid. Ukraine refugee Irina Zarutska being murdered on the train. And New Zealand granting legal personhood to a mountain. That's like, that's quite a list there. I know I'm reusing some stuff, but I don't know. It's... award shows are hard to do. Okay. All right. Next we have the We Live in an Anglo Society Award. So the nominations for We Live in an Anglo Society, and this is probably going to trigger me as we go. Canada's population is now by percentage more Sikh than India's. Land acknowledgements on board airplanes in Canada. The UK banning ninja swords. The mass grave narrative turning out to be a massive hoax. That is the residential schools thing in Canada. I don't think they found a single body. The whole thing was just made up. Canada banning people from entering the woods in multiple provinces. Black land acknowledgements in Canada. We had those now in Toronto when I went there during the summer. Canada removing mandatory minimums for child pornography, and Canadian Olympic medalist Alicia Newman having an OnlyFans account to help pay for her athletic expenses. Okay, Endurvro, if you want, you can like post them in the comments section, and I'll take a look at them if you think there's some better ones that I missed. That I can definitely revise this a bit. I think there was another like healthy person who got gassed in Canada, but yeah, I'm gonna have to work on that. Okay, so all right, next category is Gay Op Award. The Gay Op Award finalists. The nominees for the Gay Op of the Year. That should be of the year. Europe's energy scheme. Now, this one requires some explanation. This is the whole thing where they're like, they banned the import of Russian oil. And then after they banned the import of Russian oil, they decided that they were going to import Russian oil, but through Turkey or India. And then they're also importing liquid LNG from America. So it's just this I don't know, it's just a whole bunch of gay ops. So that's one. The Ukraine mineral rights deal. Trump's tariffs or Liberation Day. Operation Spider's Web, and Zelensky threatening to assassinate the world leaders attending the Victory Day parade in Moscow. I could change the last one, but that was pretty gay op-ish to me. Let me see if there's anything in the honorary mentions. You know what? I'm gonna like to do an executive decision. Okay. We're gonna do the paying the protesters to attack the Tesla dealerships. I'm gonna put that in as the 5th nominee for Gay Op of the Year. I don't know if anyone remembers that. And posting Doge. Okay. So I'm just going to say that. All right. So, competitive category, we have quite a few there. All right. Next one. And we only have 2 left. 2 left that are both very prestigious awards. All right. Our second to last award, lolcow of the Year. The nominees for lolcow of the Year are Kanye West, Vladimir Zelensky, Jeremy Hambley, a.k.a. The Quartering, Pierre Poilievre, Yoon Suk Yeol, the former president of South Korea, and Pam Bondi. So those are the nominees for lolcow of the Year. I don't know if I missed anybody, but it is what it is. I try to not repeat these. If you notice, like, some people might be under Gamer of the Year but not here, Chat of the Year and not here. I just try to not repeat them. Okay. And the final category, probably the single most prestigious Argie award, is F-slur of the Year. Who has been the biggest F-slur, that word that I can't say on YouTube? Who most embodies that energy this year? And the nominees are Keir Starmer, Friedrich Merz, Lindsey Graham, Nigel Farage, Piers Morgan, and Reza Pahlavi. So I think that's a pretty competitive field there. So I don't know. It's going to be tough to choose between those. It's hard. I mean, with Schultz, it was kind of a shoe-in. Like, how can you be more of an F-slur than Schultz? Mertz is worse, but he's less of an F-slur than Mertz is. Okay. Vonderling. You know what? That's a good thing. I'll add Vonderlei. Rain, you have to stop biting me. It's not very nice. It hurts, okay? Just in the chat, do you guys think that Lindsey Graham is a sociopath? I actually do. I don't know. I think he's one of the most disgusting human beings on earth. Yeah, Rain was sitting in my lap, and then she freaked out and bit me and was mewing. Nara says hi. Hello, Nara. So, I'm not going to send Rain to Birmingham. She's not that big a kitty, and the rats will eat her. Oh boy. So, is there anything? So, if there's anything major I missed, if you want to drop your opinion on somebody who you think should win, if you think someone doesn't belong in this list who is on this list, but yeah, that is the Argie Award nominees. I actually got them done in a reasonable time this year, so probably in the next week or two. Just for people at the moment, what's the best time for me to do them? Like, would Sunday night be okay? If I would obviously like schedule it ahead of time and like announce it. I feel like this is kind of a Sunday afternoon or Sunday evening thing. Or I could do it a weeknight. I'm not really sure. I'll think about it. So, all right. I hope people enjoyed the video. God bless everybody. And we'll be giving out the Argies, the most prestigious award show of the year. And always remember,